Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Pastor Darrell from The Quest in Galesburg, Illinois. Glad to have you with us for another day. I want to share with you a very familiar passage of Scripture. I'm just going to talk about it rather than read it, but it's found in Mark, the 5th chapter, where we're talking about the woman with the issue of blood. Mark records this story about this woman who's had this issue of blood or hemorrhaging for 12 years. She's been to doctors all over the place. She's spent everything she had, and she's gotten no better. You know, really, it's hard for you and I to really comprehend exactly what this woman was going through. Not only did she have a physical condition where she was losing blood, but she also was probably weak. But spiritually speaking, well, not only spiritual, this affected every aspect of her life. But religiously, and in that culture, because she was passing her blood, you know, most people believe that this is talking about she was having her periods, her feminine discharge. Whatever it was, it really doesn't matter. But under the law, that made her unclean. That means she could not be involved sexually with her husband. 12 years, she could not be involved with him. She could not touch him. She was not able to bear children. It means domestically that whatever she touched, think about this, everything she touched was declared unclean and had to go through a ceremonial cleansing. Spiritually speaking, she was not allowed to enter the temple. Think about that. For 12 years, this woman was not allowed to go to public worship. So she's physically exhausted. She's probably drained from losing blood continuously all this time. She's ostracized. She's not allowed to have contact with people, not even her own husband. Spiritually, she's not able to worship. The point is, at this point, she gets to the place where, and here's what I want to focus on just for a moment. The way this woman received her miracle began in her thought process. When she began to stop and realize, if I can only get to Jesus. See, that was a mental decision. If I could just get to him and I can touch him. Notice she did not say, if Jesus touched me. If I can get to him and touch him, I'll be made whole. But here's the thing. She had to get to Jesus first. That meant she had to press through the crowd. I've thought about this many times, what she had to go through. Think about this. Again, let me remind you, if she touched anyone, they were declared unclean. Going through this crowd, I guarantee you she touched people. People probably despised her for what she was doing. They probably badmouthed her. She's probably crawling through that crowd. I don't really know exactly, but I believe she was crawling through there. And everybody she touched is now unclean. This is a huge decision. What I'm getting at is this. For you to get to your miracle, many times you're going to have to go through people. People are going to get in your way. Well-meaning people, family members, church members, maybe even your own minister will begin to say things, do things to imply that you can't have it. Because to get there, you got to do something that is socially unacceptable. That's hard for us to rationalize, but read the Gospels over and over. In the Bible, Jesus commanded and the disciples did things that were socially unacceptable. That's why they were hated. That's why Jesus was hated. That's why they were tormented and persecuted. That's why they were thrown into prison, because they did what was socially unacceptable. What I'm trying to tell somebody today is you may have to do some things that are socially unacceptable to get to Jesus, to get to the place. Right now, we're told we can't gather in places of worship with more than 25 people. This may be even cracking down farther than that. But you know what? You may have to do something socially unacceptable to get to Jesus. Think about this. This is one of the things that jumped out at me a few days ago when I was reading this passage. I've read this for all these years. I've been a Christian since 1981, and I never realized this, had to look it up, and it's a fact. In Mark chapter 5, verse 34, Jesus calls her daughter. Do you know, throughout the entire Bible, throughout the New Testament, this is the only place where Jesus called somebody daughter. Think about that. He was trying to speak something directly to this woman's heart. She probably couldn't remember the last time she heard a kind word. Remember, for 12 years, she's been totally cut off from her family, from friends. She's not able to be around people, touch people. She's not able to worship. And Jesus looks at her and says, daughter, I want to tell you something today. People may not like you. People may ridicule you. People may say things that are harsh towards you. But God says, by your faith, you are made whole. Reach out to him in faith, touch him, and don't worry about what anybody else says. God bless you. I hope this helps somebody today. You come back and see me again tomorrow at the Quest.